Good afternoon. In this video, we're going to go over this past week's trades and the weekly recap. Before I get into the recap, if you're not in the room, you can find the link in the description of the video and in my bio section of social media accounts. Also, please like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. I did finish the week with 13 wins and 2 losses for a win rate of 86.67%. So definitely pleased about being over the 85% target goal. So I'm definitely happy about that. I think the 2 losses I took this week I could have avoided, but we'll get into them when we get to the trades. But I didn't take as many trades. The last few weeks I haven't really been taking that many trades because of the action. The action has been either been crazy or it's been dull. And I just didn't like a lot of the setups, so I just haven't been that many opportunities to trade, so that's why it just hasn't been that many trades. But all it takes is one good trade a day. It doesn't take that much. You don't need to trade a bunch of times. One good trade a day is all you really need. But with that said, we'll get into Monday the 10th. SPY calls over 439. That's what the trade ideas was pre-market, which is 10th is right here. We had a big run up on Friday, then it all sold off, and we kind of dropped in the futures Sunday night, and we started to run up, and then it pulled back. Had a nice little bear flag right here, so I was looking at calls over, what did I say, 439, which is this high right here. So that was a good area. I could have taken it the first 10-minute candle, but I didn't. I waited for the second, and I took the 44.10 calls at 9:41 right here when it broke high day. It did pull back, then it finally did break. So I did stay in it. I had the 44.10 calls at $7, and they popped and went to 8.60. This has been happening a lot lately. You get a fake out, then it drops, but it didn't break lower day. So to me, it was still looked like a bullish move. So I was just going to stay in it. Then when it we got this move, we got a couple red candles, and it broke below VWAP. I got below this area right here. I probably should have taken puts there, but I didn't. I didn't take them until 11:45, which was right here. I'm not quite sure why I took it here. I probably should have taken it here. I don't know why I didn't take it there, but I didn't. It went down to lower day, it bounced, came up to VWAP, got rejected, but I took it when it came back down below the 438.20 area. You can see where I took it here. I took the 4400 puts at 750. It bounced a little bit, then it flushed down through the lower day, so they went from 750 to 1220. So definitely got a nice little play out of that. Then I took calls out of 145, which is right 145 right here. No, 145 right here. 145 right there, right here is where I took it. I think I missed this initial pops when it pulled back. That's why I decided to get in, and it dropped a little more than it finally did pop. So I had the 4400 calls at $8. It dropped on me right here a little bit, then it came back up. I was able to get out a little bit of money, so it did work out pretty good. So $1.40 move on that play. Just the fake outs have been brutal the last month or so. Trading has just been kind of crazy with the fake outs, and the end of the day plays have been not that good. So I'm trying to stay away from the end of the day plays, even though I did take some, but I also been trying to stay away from the first 30 minutes of the day too, because of this right here. See, if I waited the first 30 minutes out and I caught the play right here, that would have been a better play, and it probably would have paid better. But it is what it is. Sometimes with trading, it just, things change. You just got to adapt with it, and that's what I've been kind of trying to do, is adapt to the change. Now on the 11th, which is Tuesday, Trade Ideas room, I said SPY puts in a 439, had a nice little run up. 439 is right down here, this low. First 10-minute candle was green. Then he had this flush. I probably should have taken that lower day, but I kind of like hesitate a little bit. But I did take it at 10:05. Right when it broke lower day, this is where I grabbed puts. I grabbed the 44.10 puts 740, and then went from 740 to 890, so I got a $1.50 play out of that. Then it popped a little bit. Then I took puts at 12.16, which is right here. right here. This candle, I get this doji red candle right there. I jumped in with puts right here. I'm not quite sure why I took the 4150 area. See, this is the 11 right here, 4150. You see the pivot right here with support, resistance. It kind of ripped through it like that, but nothing. For some reason, I jumped in it. I wonder what VIX was doing at the time, because VIX does determine a lot of my plays. What was VIX doing on the 11th? 10, 11. Wasn't doing too much of anything, except it was going sideways a little bit. Well, maybe we should bring it down to the 10-minute. I don't look at the hourly on VIX. Okay, let's blow this up. We'll keep VIX up. Let's see. What time did I take it? 10, 12, 16, which is right here. Okay, I see right here. It was getting ready to break out right here. Let's see, it was that higher day. And it's okay, that's why I took it right here. You got VIX at higher day, and you got this breaking out, and I did not like that. VIX looked like it was going to pop, and this broke out with it, and this had a red candle right here, so I just kind of jumped in with 44.30 puts, hoping it would dump. And right after I get in, news dropped, and it had a nice little dump right there, and they went from 630 to 1270. So I got lucky on that play. That was a good play. I don't like VIX running with SPY. That when they run together, it's usually not a good sign, especially up. If SPY is breaking out and popping, and VIX is too, they're diverging, and usually you see a dump very, very shortly, and we did get the dump right there. But SPY recovered. I took puts again at 202, which is right here. No, right here. No, right. Yeah, for some reason I grabbed it up here. Not quite sure why I grabbed it up there, because this starts at 1410. For some reason I grabbed it right here. I'm not quite sure why I grabbed it here. There might have been the trend line. There is a trend line right here going. Right here. You can see if I draw it right there. I could have bought it, rejecting the trend line. I don't like to do that, because SPY just has a habit of just not caring about anything and just ripping. So for some reason I did buy puts right there, and it worked out. I bought the 44.25 puts at 440, and they went from 440 to 530. I felt like they should have gone a lot higher. I might have bought it down here. I don't know. I probably can zoom in and get a better view of where I did that. Okay, let's see, it was what, 202? Yeah, I bought it up here. No, I bought calls. Why does it say I put puts? Okay, this makes more sense now. I kind of screwed that up when I put it on Twitter, because on my tweet I put puts, but on the actual alert it says calls. Okay, because this makes sense now. Okay, this, I do see why I grabbed it here. I grabbed calls right at the trend line. I can see why I did that. That definitely makes more sense. I don't like buying puts at trend lines, because SPY can go nuts. So yeah, I had the 44.25 calls. I bought it here. It dumped on me. I kind of stayed with it a little bit. Let's see. Yeah, I kind of stayed with it because VIX did not really move on the dump. You can see right here it's dumping, and VIX really didn't move much, so I kind of stayed in it. Then it popped. So yeah, I kind of got lucky with that. 440 is where I got it, and they went to 530. So because they dropped right here and it popped, that's why I didn't get that much. This drop kind of theta ate it. So okay, that definitely makes more sense. I got to pay attention to what the alert says, because I definitely made a typo on that. So next play, oh, that was it. That was the last play. So only 3 plays on Tuesday. Now Wednesday, let's see, trade ideas room on Wednesday. I didn't have any. Oh yeah, I didn't, because of this. There's really nothing really to choose, because it was up here. Really no levels to really look at. I mean, go to go to the hourly, 446. Yeah, there's really nothing to really look at unless you go way out. I mean, I don't even think yeah, 446. There's really nothing, anything really close to look at. So I kind of didn't really do anything as far as calling any levels pre-market. I just like whatever. I just waited out, and I actually did. The first trade I took was puts at 1128, which is right here. Got this rounded top forming. I love these rounded tops. I could have taken it here, but sometimes these rounded tops, they come in prematurely. Well, they'll put in a nice rounded top and they'll get people in and they'll pop it a little more. So I kind of waited, and it did start to pop a little bit right there, right here, but then it came back down. So when I had this strong green candle and it failed to break this 447.25 area, and it came up short and came back to VWAP. That's when I grabbed puts. I grabbed the 44.80 puts at 590, and they went from 590 to 1670. So we're 100% plus move right there. That worked out really well. That was very, very patient. This was something going on pre-market on the 14th. It was news. I think it was inflation. If I go back and look, I think it was, yeah, CPI. So that was why that popped like that. Next play was calls. I picked calls at 1238, which is right here. Came back down. It's holding the RCT trend line, which I don't think was there at the particular time, but it was holding this 445 area. Anytime I was getting below 445 or getting the 445, I was getting bought, got bought. Then they had this small inside candle right here, and you had the 20 EMA. Then you had, once it broke below over this high, this candle right here. I could have gone right here, but sometimes they'll pop just enough to get you in, then they'll dump it more. So once it broke over this 445.85 area, that's where I took the calls. I took the 44.75 calls at 510, and then went from 510 to 630, went to VWAP, kind of rejected. So definitely got a little bit of a play out of that. Probably could have got more. Then I took calls at 343, which is right here. It chopped around VWAP, it dumped, it held the 445 area, came back up to VWAP really, really fast. I thought for sure if it got over VWAP, it was going to pop end of day. You, like right back here, had this monster move end of day. So I was kind of thinking, okay, when it chops underneath VWAP, it likes to push through like it did right here. I chopped over VWAP, pushes through, under, pushes through. So it was under. Thought, okay, it was going to push through, and it didn't. It just chopped. So I had the 44.75 calls at 3. It just chopped to death, didn't go anywhere. So I didn't have much in it. So small end of the day loss, no big deal. So that ended up being a good play. Now on to Thursday pre-market. Let's see. Trade ideas room. SPY puts on the 447, which was this low right here. First candle was green. I sat out. I didn't touch anything to 1114, which was right here. Right here. It's just, it get this strong green candle that it tried to break out. It was a fake out. Didn't go down, break the lower day, kind of stayed above the 20 EMA, got bought, couldn't break out higher day, chopped around VWAP, tried to break out again. It failed. So when it broke below, I wasn't sure it was going to stay in the range or not, so I was thinking, okay, 448.50 and the 447.50 could be the range for the day, but I didn't really want to buy puts at the top of the range because SPY could just break out. To me, I think that's the worst thing to do. I do it sometimes, but I don't like doing it, buying, shorting at the top at SPY at higher day, or buying calls at lower day. To me, it's just so risky because they could flush it or they could pop it. So I was like, okay, if it gets below this 448.15 area, but with the body of this candle, and VWAP, I will take it, and I did. I took the 44.95 puts at 5. Actually, I took it 11.14. So I didn't take it here. I took it down here. I did take it right here. I did take it near lower day. Yeah, and I added more at 11.59, which is right here. Okay, I do remember this now. Yeah, I do remember this. I took it down here under 448. This is where I took it down here. Then it popped on me. And when it got to the top of the day, this is where I added more. I do remember this now. For some reason I thought I took it here, but no, I took it down here. and I bought puts at the higher day, going against what I normally would think, thinking it was going to stay within the range. It was still risky, and I added more 420, and they went to my average went from $7 to 420 to 560. So 560 was my new average. Then it popped, and I stopped out, and thinking it was going to rip. So I don't know if they actually went green here or not. I don't remember, but I just was like, okay, whatever. I moved on. I took calls at let's see, 147, which is right here. Right here. This I was more comfortable right here. No, right here. 147. Right here. Yeah, I took it right there. More comfortable taking puts here when it popped up and you had this big red candle, held VWAP. That was a bigger red candle. I was definitely more willing to take calls. I could have taken puts, but I didn't. I'm not quite sure why I didn't take puts right there. I could have gotten a puts move. I probably was, after taking the loss, wasn't sure what it was going to do, so I just waited. And when it bounced off VWAP, it came back up to higher day. I just ended up taking calls right here. I took the 4,500 calls at 470, and they went from 470 to $8. So they went 820, yeah, right from here to here. So they had a nice little play right there. Pull back right there. I didn't take it. I didn't want to take calls. I just didn't like it. I didn't want to take it. I think VIX at that particular time was getting crushed. I'll have to look at VIX at the 10-minute chart on the 13th. Yeah, VIX was down here. Yeah, where was VIX? Yeah, VIX is running. Look at VIX right here at noontime. Right here. VIX is running. Right there. And sometimes the thing with VIX has been doing is that when VIX pops, when SPY chops lately, the last few weeks, is giving SPY more room to run. And that's exactly what happened. VIX ran up, SPY dropped, VIX was running up more when it dropped, and then VIX dropped right here, giving SPY that room. So with VIX dropping right here, I definitely made it 117. No, I took it right here. Yeah, right in here. So yeah, VIX hasn't dropped yet, but VIX was pushing. So VIX running and pulling back here. To me, I kind of just took a chance. I'm not quite sure, to be honest with you. But yeah, usually when VIX pops with SPY's chopping. They're giving SPY more room to run. So this is probably what I was thinking right here. It was going to reject, VIX was going to reject this area and it given more SPY more room to pop, which it did. It just actually ran with SPY right here when it broke out. So kind of crazy how they ran together from here to here and here to here. So then, you know, right here is where SPY took off and SPY dropped. So that's what, 1420. Yeah, so this is where VIX dropped right here. So got to the 450 level. I wanted to jump in at puts right at exactly 450, but I was afraid they were going to overshoot it because I feel like everybody and their mother was going to short at 450 and they were going to push it more, and they did. But when they had this big red candle right here, I decided to grab it at 350 right there. So when it had that tail candle and 450 level, which is a huge psychological level, I waited until it broke below this candle of 449.90. Once it broke that, that's when I took the puts. I took the 45.15 puts at 390, and they went from 390 to 550 right there. So that ended up being a good end of the day play. If it wasn't at 450 and didn't put that tail candle in, I would not have taken the trade. I would have just stayed out, but I took the chance and I went for it. So Friday, last day of the week, traded his room. I said SPY puts in the 449.50, which is right here, this area. Basically, PDC is the area because you can see it kind of like dumped here, then it got bought up. First candle was green, ignored it, didn't touch anything till 10 o'clock. Tried to break out, rejected, tried to break out, rejected a little bit, but I was looking at these candles right here. Once it broke below the 45.20 puts, but the 450.80 area, that's when I took the 45.20 puts at 810, and then we went from 810 to $14. And I think there was news about something at 10 o'clock, wasn't there? consumer sentiment. So didn't come in good. Then it popped. It was kind of a wild time right here. So yeah, puts paid off right there. Got lucky. Then thing just went green. I think if I remember correctly, I was in puts right here. It dumped really fast. Didn't have time to sell it, and it popped up. Then I think I sold it on this drop right here, if I remember correctly. I think if I look at the exits, I think that's exactly what I did. Yeah, 1033. So yeah, I exited over here. So yeah, I missed the drop. Knowing me, I probably bought it closer to down here, the 450, 48 area, 450, 50 area. It popped, and I sold when it came down here and touched PDC. So yeah, I think that's what I did on that play. Then I took calls at 201, which was right here. I thought about taking it right here, then it dropped, and when it came back up, that's where I took the calls. I took the 45.10 calls to 740 and went from 740 to 810, rejected VWAP. I kind of thought it was going to push through VWAP violently because it held PDC, came back through, and it came back and retested this area right here, the 450 area, rejected a little bit, then it quickly came back up. I was thinking, okay, we're going to push through, but it didn't really push through VWAP. It did give us like 70-80 cents, so definitely took it. Then I switched to puts at 325, which is right here, right 325. Pushed through VWAP, PDC, which is this white line, came back up, rejected 20 EMA, rejected PDC violently, came back down, bounced off the 200 EMA, which is the purple line, came back up to PDC, rejected that, came back down. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to take puts. It's probably going to push down a little lower. So I took the 45.10 puts at $7 and went from $7 to $10.90. So we got a nice little play out of that. I was looking at, if it broke below these the candles right here, you got this body right here at 449.10, pushed up to PDC, came back down. There's a body there, and there was a body right there. So when it broke below that body of 449.10, that's where I took the puts, and ended up being a good end of the day play. So another end of the day play that ended up working out. So no, I think I took it right here. Yeah, I took it right here. But yeah, I definitely use this 449.10 area right there for an entry. It definitely could have gone against me. And I was actually thinking to myself that if this thing doesn't drop by 350, I was going to get out, because some reason at 350 this algo set at the timer. Because if you look at the time clock on TOS or whatever timing you use, exactly 350 to the second that the market ends up changing its course or doing something really radical. They have algos programmed for that specific time frame, either to sell, cover, buy, whatever how they're ever programmed. But they are there. You pay attention to that clock, 350. You always see that move at 350. And they happen 90% of the time. But I've noticed that a couple of times last week, or a few times last week, that we got a little bit of a move at 350, and you actually don't get a really big move until like 358 or 357, 2 to 3 minutes before market closes. So sometimes those algos get adjusted. They can get programmed to whatever you need or whatever you want, and they just will react based on how they're programmed. And you definitely do see the 350 algos kicking in right to the second. And what they do, which way they go, it's hard to predict, because they're pretty much impossible to predict. So if you watch it closely, you know that the algos are getting ready to take off, and you set areas to look at. You might be able to catch it, but basically it's a crapshoot. So you got to be very careful of those algo moves in place. So that's going to do it for the recap. I hope this has helped you understand the mindset, why I took what I took and where. And that's going to do it. So thanks for watching.